Now back to Holistic Healthline, your direct line to good health.
And welcome back to Holistic Healthline, your direct line to great health. I'm Jane Jansen with Peter Morrell and Dr. Wim Jansen. And inflammation is a major component of just about every health problem that there is that you can think of. And so we decided to bring an expert on to the show, and Charlie Skeen, who is a certified nutritionist and for over 40 years has of experience in researching and studying health, fitness, and nutrition. And at the age of 12, overcame major health problems when his physicians failed him significantly. And he has an extensive background and experience in exercise and fitness, an experienced developer and formulator of high-quality supplements for several supplement companies, and presently formulating supplements such as Healthful Enzymes, which we're going to be talking about today, from the company Healthful Balance, which is located in Phoenix, Arizona. Hi, Charlie.
Good morning. I think it's morning, right?
Sometimes we wonder. Charlie, we've been talking a little bit about inflammation in the program, and what is inflammation exactly?
Well, basically, inflammation is something that the body naturally produces when the body has an injury. It's actually an immune response, and it's the body's attempt to heal itself. For example, let's say you twist an ankle or something. So in a case like that, when damage occurs, then the body will go into play and start doing things like sending cytokines and other things, immune cells, hormones, and other nutrients into that area to fix the problem. And as a result of that, that's why you get edema and swelling, because as those things come into that area of damage, it begins to swell and creates pain on the nervous system there in that area. But however, the difference is that once it's repaired, though, then all that goes away. It's a done deal. You're happy camper, and you go about your business again. And we're going to talk about that a little bit more, because we're going to compare that then to the chronic inflammation.
So it's part of by the way, good morning, Charlie. It's Peter Morrell.
Hi.
It's part of the normal healing process. So why do we jump to things to turn off the inflammation?
Well, because most people in the United States and other countries like England, where they eat a lot of processed foods and don't live a good, healthy lifestyle, most everyone carries around constant, what I call chronic inflammation. In other words, they have inflammation going on all the time through their body. As a result of that, you can imagine how the body now is being invaded constantly by all these cytokines and hormones and other things that go in there and try to fix things but can't, because the process of repair isn't going on. Also, they're doing things that create the constant chronic inflammation. The lifestyle that they're living, for example, the foods they eat, create this inflammation, and as a result, the ongoing inflammation constantly is attacking every cell of the human body, which we're talking about the brain, the organs, the glands, the muscles, the bones, and as a result, over time, the excessive amounts of chronic inflammation will start to cause things like diabetes, cancer, cardiovascular problems, lung problems, joint problems, bone problems, autoimmune diseases. And we see a lot of that. Even just a little while ago, I heard on the radio you were talking about Crohn's disease, how it attacks the bowel itself. And I see this constantly in people. It just goes on, and trying to help them to readjust their lifestyle to turn off that inflammation when it's not needed.
And I think so many people go for kind of the quick fix, and the doctors go for the quick fix. Particularly steroids, because they act so fast, and people feel great. But is that really fixing a chronic inflammation that's going on?
Well, when you take painkillers, for example, it could be opioids, or it could be taking something like Excedrin, NSAIDs, for example. The problem with those is they go into what's called the mu receptors of the brain, and that's where the body picks up pain. And so by shutting down the mu receptors, or going in there and shutting them down, you do reduce the pain, and you can reduce some of the inflammation. But here's the bad result of that. Number one, as you take the painkillers, you're turning off the mu receptors, so you have to constantly increase the dosage of the painkillers. Number two, it's been proven you can call any CDC center in the U.S. and ask them how many people are dying every year or having all these issues by taking NSAIDs, and it's in the hundreds of thousands. People are tearing up their stomach, bleeding. They're destroying their brain. They're affecting their bowel. They're causing tremendous amounts of problems in their system. And we have people every year, a certain amount of people are dying from using these painkillers. And it's not, what happens is, although you're trying to cut off the pain, you're not solving the problem of what's causing the pain and what's causing the inflammation. And that's what you need to get to. What is causing it? What can we do to fix it?
And also, there's been such a significant crisis of the opioid abuse that's been going on, that people have become so addicted to these medications that, they can't come off of them.
That's true. People get hooked on these opioids. The body gets a desire to have more and more and more all the time. And they have to find a way to, number one, get to somebody who understands this, a good naturopathic doctor or nutritionist who knows what to do, and help them by actually changing their diet and taking certain supplements that can help them to naturally withdraw from using these painkillers. Because once you get hooked on them, it's very hard to get off, but you can do it in a more natural way. That's why some people have a hard time getting off, because of the lifestyle they live, not getting enough nutrition, eating the wrong foods, exposing themselves to chemicals, either through the cosmetics they're using, and those types of things. But if they start changing their lifestyle and what they put in their bodies, it's much easier to get off the opioids, because now their body has a way of controlling itself better and getting it out of your system. For example, doing liver cleanses and things of that sort, because that stuff will accumulate in your body and you need to get it out.
And we have talked about, as far as like diet, we know that sugar will amplify inflammation, and there's other foods that are more inflammatory. So certainly lifestyle changes, but what else can we do if, the people that think there's no other alternative but to take an NSAID or whatever it may be?
Well, besides lifestyle changes, you can take a natural supplement. Looking at the perspective or understanding how the inflammation works in the body, you need to control what causes the inflammation in producing the pain. For example, taking enzymes. This product that was designed called Healthful Enzymes, it's a combination of enzymes with the mineral zinc, and we have got rutin and L-cysteine here. What does that mean? Well, I don't want to go into a lot of technical details here, but basically what that means is the enzymes that you take in this product, when you swallow it, it's protected against stomach acid, and it goes into the small intestine, where then the capsule will release the enzymes, will get absorbed into the bloodstream. Once these things get into the bloodstream, they act like Pac-Man. What I mean by that is, if you're familiar with that game, they actually go into the bloodstream and they eat up the cytokines and leukotrienes and other components that are produced by the body, which causes inflammation. As you break them down, these enzymes break down the starches and the fats and the proteins, the structures that make up these inflammatory substances, and they go away. It reduces the inflammation. Also, they have what's called circulating immune complexes. These are things that are produced by the body as things deteriorate due to inflammation. So by breaking those down as well, you control inflammation. So over time, by using that, as you break these things down in your body naturally, they don't cause any complications. They don't destroy mu receptors in your brain or bother them in a way that will cause you an increase to use opioids. It'll actually to get you off of them. But over time, a person's inflammation will go down, they'll feel better, the stiffness will go away, and they'll function better. And then they can start concentrating more on looking at their lifestyle in conjunction by taking this product. I recommend that you take it 3 times a day. For example, in the morning before you eat, like 30 minutes with a big glass of water. 30 minutes before lunch and 30 minutes before supper. But I want to advocate this, when you're listening about how I'm telling you to do this. Please, if you're going to drink water, with it, do not use tap water which contains chlorine or fluoride. Chlorine and fluoride will increase your inflammation process dramatically. So please don't use clean, pure drinking water.
We got to take a quick break, and when we get back, I want to talk a little bit about, a little more specifically about some of the other nutrients that are in the Healthful Enzymes, but also what's the difference between that and taking just a digestive enzyme, that a lot of people are familiar with the digestive enzyme. So when we get back, we're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to take a quick break. You're listening to Holistic Healthline, your direct line to great health. Back in a moment.
Now back to Holistic Healthline, your direct line to good health.
And welcome back to Holistic Healthline, your direct line to great health. And our special guest, expert guest, is Charlie Skeen, certified nutritionist and formulator of high-quality supplements, including Healthful Enzymes by Healthful Balance. And we're talking about inflammation and how to turn it off and, actually get you healthy without having all those side effects that you get from the drugs that are out there today. And Charlie, a lot of people are taking digestive enzymes to help them process their foods better. Are they getting the same benefits when they take their digestive enzymes with their meals as opposed to taking the Healthful Enzymes?
No, when they take enzymes for digesting food, those particular enzymes will break down fats, carbohydrates, and sugars, and so on and so forth. But that's breaking down the food. It will not give them any kind of anti-inflammatory help in the way that we're talking about. By taking something like the Healthful Enzymes, which is a very good formula, what you do is by taking it on an empty stomach before you eat with a glass of water, it kind of helps wash everything out of the stomach into the small intestine. That's why we use capsules that are protective of the enzymes that will prevent the stomach acids from breaking down the capsule and releasing them in the stomach. That way they get released in the small intestine, so that when it opens up, then you get a higher concentration of these enzymes in the small intestine, because the pH changes from acid to a more alkaline pH once it gets into the small intestine where the acid can't destroy them. Then they get absorbed into the bloodstream in higher concentrations. In these higher concentrations, then they're able to perform the function we want them to do, is in destroying these circulating immune complexes, which are the damaged proteins made up of, antibodies, antigens, a diseased tissue that accumulates in body parts and blood vessels. Break all that down, and then that way, and the cytokines and the chemicals like leukotrienes that produce the inflammation, and they're going to be a lot better off in controlling the inflammation. But it's not designed for digesting food. I hope that helps.
Yes, absolutely.
Is there anybody that shouldn't take these enzymes? That would be, you say, well, if people have this condition or that or whatever. Is there anybody that you would say, yeah, no, I wouldn't take those?
The beautiful part of taking the Healthful Enzymes is that it doesn't matter what your condition is. You can have any condition in the world. It doesn't matter, because the enzymes in this form, in the delivery fashion that we have, getting into the bloodstream is going to help you in a natural way. It's not going to interfere with any drug or chemical you may be taking that the doctor may be giving you, for example. It's not going to interfere with that. It's just going to help you. In fact, for people who do have health problems, like cancers and these types of things, lupus and other autoimmune diseases, it can only help them, because what's going to happen is the enzymes being in the bloodstream, working the way they do, are going to take a huge burden off of the body's systems, and the immune system in particularly, allowing the body to kind of get like a little breath of relief and working better and trying to fight whatever condition you have. It's not going to work against you. It's going to work for you.
And I noticed in the formula, you also have, for instance, superoxide dismutase. What is the benefit of having that in the formula?
Yeah, superoxide dismutase, SOD, for example. A lot of people refer to it as that. But SOD is found in all through the body. It's found in the cellular part of this, in the cells itself. It's found in the joints. It's found in the bloodstream. But SOD fights free radicals. The air that we breathe every day, for example, with the oxygen, creates free radicals. When we exercise, a lot of people don't understand this, but when they exercise, if you could do a blood test after they exercise, you could find out that their free radicals have increased dramatically. That's why you get so sore and things of that sort when you're exercising. For example, if they're drinking chlorinated water and things of that sort, if you're eating microwave foods, these create free radicals. And these free radicals will go into the body, and then they touch healthy cells, and they cause these cells to get damaged. And, for example, let's take the DNA. The DNA every day is being attacked by free radicals. That's a normal ongoing process, but the body, when it's healthy, with the proper nutrients and enzyme activity, it goes in there just like a surgeon. It cuts out that section of damaged DNA and replaces it with a healthy part, and it keeps that DNA healthy. Now, if that DNA gets constantly damaged by free radicals and never gets repaired, then the DNA in every cell of the body begins to fall apart, so when that cell now dies off and makes another cell to replace it, it's going to be weaker. Well, that process will continue, so you're going to create more wrinkles, you're going to age more quickly. If the cells become a rogue or mutate because now the DNA can't control itself and starts to replicate constantly all the time, now you're producing cancer cells. So it's very important that we control this inflammatory process.
And I've also, you have a nutrient in there that I've been a big proponent of for a long time.
Her favorite herb.
Peter is kidding me about it forever, but I feel like it's one of the nutrients that benefits everybody on so many different levels. The curcumin C3 complex.
Yes, the curcumin's in there because it's been proven in many clinical studies. It's been used in India for thousands of years. But it's been proven that once it gets into the bloodstream, gets into the body, it's excellent for controlling inflammation. They've done so many studies with it showing that not only does it control inflammation, but because of controlling inflammation, they've noticed that it improves cognitive ability, controls blood sugar, helps with people who are having pain from arthritis. So it works in so many different areas. It's good for digestion. It's good for the liver, for liver function. It's good in so many areas of the body, and the research is and the fact that the research is showing more and more evidence of how it's working in the body, they're getting better and better at producing it so that the body can absorb it more effectively and efficiently. That's why we're using this form in the product itself. So it's going to work with the other enzymes that are in there to help control inflammation and give you all these other benefits as well.
And before we ask any more questions, because I just want to make sure this information gets out there, I understand that Healthful Balance has a special offer for our listeners. Do you happen to know what that is?
Yes, the special offer is going to be, it's 15% off for the 180 count of the Healthful Zymes in capsules. That's 15% off. You can get that special deal by simply calling 855-888-2211, or you can go to the healthfulbalance.net website. That's healthfulbalance.net, or call 855-888-2211. 15% off a Healthful Zymes 180 count.
Do they have to put any special code into the website?
I don't believe so. I believe you can just go in there and order it, and you will get the 15% off. I think it's already set up so that when you go order, it's 15% off.
Great.
That's awesome.
Charlie, a lot of people take daily regiments, kind of foundational programs. You know, they might take a multivitamin and, certain formulas that just kind of their daily healthy thing. Do the systemic enzymes fit into that category of that kind of foundational nutritional supplement, or are they more if you have a problem, take them?
No, I would recommend that you take these enzymes on a daily basis like you do a multivitamin. And the reason for that is because our bodies undergo so many things each day. People don't realize the stresses that they go through, which creates inflammation in their system. For example, if you're upset, you're angry, you're driving in traffic, or maybe you have a deadline at work, and other things too. For example, if people are suffering from other health issues, that will help them. But if you take these things on a regular basis, even though you don't have any health issues, that will help you from having health issues as you age. And in fact, it will help you to age more healthfully and to have not get the typical, usual, what they call aging factors that doctors expect everybody to have.
There's also, I think, so many people that, again, there's so much stress. We're seeing an elevated number of people with autoimmune conditions, but even in children at young ages. Is this something that could potentially be beneficial for like a teenager as well?
For sure. By them taking those enzymes, what they're going through, that will help their body to control all these factors we discussed about before, circulating immune complexes, things they're exposed to in their daily life, which will create inflammation, because that's going to affect their immune system. We're finding more and more in this country now where children, not just teenagers, but even those below the teenage years, are having trouble with their immune system, with their bowels, with joint problems, cognitive function, blood sugar, the problems they're having with what they call autistic problems. All these things are not only just because of the lack of good nutrition and exposure to chemicals and all these other things, but the inflammatory process is just doing a terrible number on people in this country. That's why now we're seeing more people at a younger age, especially children, are now having strokes and heart disease that we never had before 40, 50 years ago.
Charlie, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to be right back. Again, going to give out that information one more time as to how to, save some significant money here, which is a great, generous offer. We're going to take a quick break. Again, you're listening to Holistic Healthline, your direct line to great health. Back in a moment. And welcome back to Holistic Healthline, your direct line to great health. And our special guest is Charlie Skeen, certified nutritionist. And we're talking about Healthful Enzymes by Healthful Balance. And Charlie, do any of these, there's so many different anti-inflammatories that people are taking from their medical doctors or over the counter that have so many long-term side effects, particularly when you're taking high doses or taking them for an extended period of time. Do the Healthful Enzymes cause any of those kind of issues?
No, Healthful Enzymes, because of the way it's made, the natural enzyme activity and everything, will not cause any damage to the human body. It won't cause any stomach upset, like stomach bleeding, or any trouble in the body where it's going to, like I said before, destroy or reduce the amount of immune receptors. There's no harm to using Healthful Enzymes, not like the NSAIDs will.
And I can tell you, personally that as practitioners, we've been using the Healthful Enzymes in our practice, and we haven't even been using them for that long a period of time that, we would normally have to, wait a year or two and, to decide whether or not things. We're already seeing results with our patients that are using the Healthful Enzymes that have chronic inflammation issues. And again, now we can feel more comfortable about using it with just people generally.
The quality of the product. There are other formulas out there, but the quality shows.
And if you could one more time give out that special offer.
Okay. The special offer is 15% off of Healthful Enzymes 180 count of the capsules. You can order it by calling toll-free at 855-888-2211 or go to the website at healthfulbalance.net. And I would like to make one correction on the website. There is no special code to use. You won't see the 15% off when you order, but when you do order, don't worry about it. You still get the 15% off. You won't be charged that. It's done by hand, so that 15% will be applied off of the website.
Cool. We want to thank you so much for joining us today and sharing this information because, again, I think people are really needing this. It's just thank you so much.
You're welcome, and thank you for having me.
All right. Have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you.